Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel a bit bored with your clothes? Like just the stuff you're wearing, it feels a bit lifeless, a bit drab, a bit uncharacterful? Well, I've got just the thing for you. Not only am I delighted to say that this week's episode is sponsored by the wonderful Don't Feed the Bears clothing, a wonderful independently run family business from Yorkshire, but they are also offering an exclusive 10% discount code for listeners and viewers of this podcast. All you have to do is go onto the wonderful don'tfeedthebears.co.uk website, pick out anything from all the hundreds of different things they have: hats, bags, jumpers, hoodies, you name it, they've got it. All wonderfully hand-printed, bear adjacent, colourful designs. And at the checkout, enter the discount code DEAD10. That's DEAD, D-E-A-D, and then the number 10, 10, for your exclusive 10% off. I also want to add that sometimes people think that if you have a sponsor as a podcast, you really have to give them a good plug. That's not the case here. I've been wearing the clothes from Don't Feed the Bears for years, and in fact I approached them to see if they'd be interested in sponsoring this. That's how highly I rate them. I wanted to be able to wear their stuff all the time. And from one independent podcast to an independent company, help each other out. So do check them out, and thanks again for listening to Stop Watering Dead Flowers.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Stop Watering Dead Flowers. Now, as regular listeners might know, I usually start off with a wee tale or a haunting memory that I've just recently remembered myself, or I read out one of the listeners' stories that they've sent in. But today I have to start off by saying that wonderfully, mercifully, we have a guest sponsor for the month here. We will be sponsored for the next 4 or 5 episodes by the wonderful Don't Feed the Bears company as well. A few folk in previous episodes have already messaged me and asked who makes that bear jumper that you wear quite often. Well, it's Don't Feed the Bears, and thankfully when we reached out, they said they were up for giving us a wee sponsor for a month's trial. So if you like some of the stuff that you see that I'm normally wearing, or you want to see more of their designs, if you're like me and you like kind of animal orientated, kind of jaunty clothing, then this is the place to go, okay? And we want to show them that it's mutually beneficial. And in that regard as well, they have given you wonderful listeners an exclusive discount code, which is just DEAD, as in D-E-A-D, for Stop Watering Dead Flowers, DEAD10. So if you put in DEAD10 in their promo discount bit, you'll get 10% off a purchase from Don't Feed the Bears. It's wonderful stuff, you know. I mean, I don't know, we've got a wonderful guest here, Mark, who's already been, waxing lyrical about this wonderful narwhal with a bottom-heavy iguana.
Yeah, the big arsed iguana. Don't Feed the Bears is also a weight loss class for Rangers fans.
Is that right?
No.
That would be a good name, though. Good spoof name. But either way, jokes aside, absolutely delighted to have a sponsor, Don't Feed the Bears. Please do check them out. And thanks again for listening. Stop watering dead flowers. I'm delighted to say this week we're joined by not only one of the best comics in the UK, but one of my oldest pals in comedy as well. It's the one and only Mark Nelson.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Not too bad.
I got shocked in your intro bit when you went all jokes aside, and I was like, oh, shit, I've turned up to the wrong thing here.
No,
that's all I have, Chris.
I'm already scared about losing the sponsor I've had for 2 minutes. But no, I've got to say straight off the bat, it's weirder doing a podcast. Like, some people might think it's easier to do it with one of your pals, but it feels weirder speaking to someone I know better on the circuit, because it feels more like...
Why do you think, Why do you think that is?
As if it's like, now we're having like a slightly manufactured conversation rather than just in a pub drinking a pint.
That's true, actually, yeah. Because I suppose with the people that you get on that you don't really know that well, that's kind of the conversation you would have...
Yeah.
A podcasty conversation anyway.
You're going,
if
how
you're
you
away.
doing? You've done this thing.
Exactly, yeah.
You have microphones.
Yeah.
Whereas we're usually just in the pub with a pint, and we've got these heavy new microphones.
So heavy.
Big shout out to the Stand Comedy Club, in association with, by the way. This is the first episode we've done in the new venue, Green Room, and they've got a new podcast kit, and these things weigh a ton.
These are they're a lot heavier, because I've seen these are like the podcast standard mics that everybody has, but normally they're on like those stretchy arms,
Yeah.
so that certain podcasters can pretend to be fucking morning DJs and stretch it down like that, because they're so good that they don't make any noise when you rattle them about.
Listen, that's the next step. We've got a sponsor. We've got the heavy mics. Next stop, big arms. Well, as a way of introduction as well, for anyone that doesn't know you, I mean, I feel like you are now involved in so many different things in terms of presenting stand-up, radio, TV. People are probably familiar with your work, but stand-up's really where it all stemmed from. That's your first love. I mean, someone that's won the prestigious Comedians Comedy Award as well, Comedians Comedian, which is something that's, I always think, of all the accolades that people have heard about in terms of TV ones, that's the one that all comics, I think, probably covet.
Yeah, it's the only one I've really, like, that was the one I would like. I think I'd say that's the only one I've really cared. It's one of the only ones I've won, but it's like, it's the one I'm really. It is very, very special, and genuinely means a lot, because it's not voted for by anyone in any industry other than actual comics, and it is nice. And it's not just comics in terms of, like, some of the Fringe awards you'll get where like Fringe comics will vote for it, but they're only really at the Fringe for a month and stuff. Whereas this was circuit comics, so it's people that actually understand
See you doing it.
the job.
Yeah, week in, week out.
So that's that. Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, I didn't vote for you. No, I did actually. Well, listen, we've had a lot of comics on this podcast, obviously, as well, and I think it goes without saying that a lot of the times the topic of this podcast sometimes lends itself well. Have you found that in terms of being able to pick out kind of haunting stories?
Do you know, I found this quite difficult, Chris, because it's specific, especially the stuff like from when you were asking, like childhood kind of stuff like that as well. Because I've got an incredibly bad memory.
All right.
Like actually medically worryingly bad in terms of there's so much of my childhood that I don't remember.
Wow.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I reckon, I think it's why I would never go to therapy.
I was
just in case they unlock something terrible that's happened to me.
Yeah, I was just thinking my wife would be like, has he actually forgotten, or is he
Exactly,
put it
yeah.
behind a curtain?
Yeah, totally. Like, I've been fucking locked in a basement for 10 years or something. I've just blocked out an entire part of my life. It'd be quite a relief, actually. I go, all right, that's why.
Yeah.
So I had to properly delve into specific areas and ask stories that I've kind of told my wife before and pals and stuff like that.
I want to know more about your child. Like, we need to find Mark Nelson's origin story.
Oh, I don't think it would be a happy one.
Bruce Wayne down a well covered in bats.
Imagine,
what has happened to you?
Yeah. I adopted the darkness.
Well, yeah, we always start with the childhood one as well, I guess, traditionally. So what were you able to uncover?
So I didn't really know, how far were you taken up? Because I was like, would that include into like teenage years and up to? Because mostly the teenage ones were drinking stories that I've kind of done stuff regretted. The only one I can remember, like one that I definitely did when I was young, was I exploded a fish. What? Right? Now,
I always love it when you hear her text Sean just bursting it.
I didn't really know how to. I didn't know the correct term, because blowing up seems like a terrorist act, and I didn't do that. But I've made a fish explode.
What?
And
yeah, where was the fish? Where were you?
It was my own fish, and we because you'll remember this as well. Like when you used to go. When you were growing up,
you know when you're blowing up a fish, Chris.
Yeah. But there used to be a big thing when you come from, because I come from Dumfries, and the shows coming was a big deal. Like they would come twice a year, and they'd take over the whole of the Sands, which is like the massive street on the river in Dumfries, and it was the only time but at that age you wouldn't go to theme parks, because there was Lowther in Scotland, but that was it, and I never went to like Alton Towers or anything. Aye. So the shows, the fair,
the Walsers is as good as it gets.
Exactly. Aye. Like so, it was class, and you'll know, like you'll get to know this with your own kids, that when you go, kids aren't that hugely interested in the rides.
Yeah.
It's the spending of money on things that they can win. That's where their interest lies.
My daughter's obsessed with the grabby machines right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know yourself it's a con.
Yeah.
And you're never going to win it. But you can't tell them that because you're disappointing them that they're not going to get a toy, but you're also introducing them to the lie that anything is possible in life.
I tell you something. I tell you something as a quick aside. Worst thing that could have ever happened. She always wants to do these grabby machines so much, like soft plays, anywhere that has them, supermarkets. You don't win. She's tried a couple and she's not won. And I think we thought she had it through her head. But one day at a soft play, big shout out to Boggleston soft play down in Gourock. There was a machine there, and it was one you put a pound in and you get 5 goes. And I think it's supposed to be one of these ones where everyone wins one time.
Yeah.
And she won 3 times in that one go.
Ooh.
And ever since she's been like, you do win. You win more than once, like all the time. It was, but see, the next time we did one and she didn't win, she was devastated.
See, that's a dangerous portal that's been opened now.
Oh,
that's how
3 times.
gambling addiction begins. Like that's a guy that goes to Vegas on one stag do and wins a shitload in a hand of blackjack, and then it comes to 3 years later and he's sucking off a guy in a toilet to try and pay off his latest hand. Like,
oh no.
But yeah, they are obsessed with that. And my wee boy's massively obsessed with it. And I remember I was as well. But the fact that, I mean, it was so simple then. It was literally hook a duck.
Right.
So you'd get given a big fishing rod with a wire hook on the end. And there was loads of rubber ducks going round in a small pond.
Yeah.
And you pick one up. As soon as you get one, it was impossible to get. Like you couldn't not get one.
You win a wee prize.
And then you win a prize. But the prizes were fish. And I mean, I suppose when you look at it, it's more than 30 years ago. But even then you go, this is a mental thing to imagine that all the prizes, because they just used to have them hooked, like with pegs.
Bags, the see-through bags.
Just see-through bags that you would put like your vegetables and fruit in at the supermarket, but inside it would be water and fish. And there'd just be shitloads of them, and then they'd give you a bag, and they wouldn't even give you like a peg to close it because the pegs were theirs. So you get given the bag and the fish, and you were like literally holding onto this fucking fish.
The equivalent of taking your pints back to the table, but a fish back to your house.
Yeah. So you had this, and so I'd won one of these. I think I'd won a couple actually.
Right.
And we got it into the. Because I think there's a stage every kid goes through where you get fish and you get like, mum and dad will take you to Pets at Home or something like that, and you'll get the tank and all that kind of stuff, and you get the wee bridge and shit. And I got a wee round bowl, and it was, I was given the responsibility of feeding it, right? And we were going away for the weekend, and I didn't know this, but fish don't need fed that much.
That's right.
Like a fish can be,
like
you can give a fish food and it'll last for a decent
Just
amount.
the wee tiny bits are in the water for days and days.
So it's the usual stuff, the wee flakes.
The stinking flakes.
Yeah, horrible.
Honky.
Aye. And but I was worried. Like I didn't have this conversation with my parents or anything like that. But I was worried because we were going away for the weekend. But the other thing about fish is, even though they will eat, they'll eat and eat and eat and eat as much as they possibly can. So I got one of these tubs, so like a wee circular, like almost like a cat food tin, and I like clump like about half of the fucking thing, and just threw it in.
Like, we're going away, mate.
Yeah. They're like, I don't want you. I don't want you hungry. And then, but this thing, obviously, for an entire weekend on its own, is thinking, Jesus, because the fish. The classic fact about the fish is that they've got a 7-second memory. So every 7 seconds must have been like fucking heaven to him. He'd look up and go, Jesus Christ, this is Valhalla I've just walked in. So it would, I just imagine the whole weekend it just chomping away at these flakes. And then I came back on the Monday and it was in half.
The fish
was in half. It had eaten so much. You know the bit in Seven, the start of Seven, where he does gluttony and the fat guy bursts apart because he's overfed him. That happened to the fish.
Oh,
I wasn't doing it as any punishment. I wasn't doing it in a serial killer way. It was just the innocence of a child. But yeah, proper, like in half, and the guts kind of floating about a bit. And the other fishes started to eat bits of that fish as well. It's awesome, man.
I really wouldn't have thought, even though you described what had happened at the start of the story, but I really didn't think it would actually have.
Yeah.
That is wild.
It's like digestive tract just got too much and just the gills couldn't take it anymore.
What a Mark Nelson story to start with. Also, what I also want to say here, 2 quick points is, one, you started off by saying you've got a terrible memory and your first story is about a fish with a 7-second memory.
Yeah.
And also, I know for a fact that your favourite film is Jaws.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a real insight as to why, knowing that you love the gore
you know
of this
what?
fish exploding.
I've never realised that before, but you might have tapped into something
That's
there.
what we're doing here on this couch.
This is Eleanor, your wife.
Yeah.
This is what you're picking up from her. You're starting to see subliminal messages
It's
in everyone
unbelievable.
else's.
That was it. That was it was as if you were there doing it to him.
Yeah.
Die, you son of a.
That's the only one that I've not killed.
No, it didn't.
No.
Didn't whet your appetite for animal
I
cruelty.
reckon I was an accomplice to my
Yeah.
hamster dying, but that's because I let it out of its cage.
Right.
And it
knowing
went-
it might have got into bother.
It went in. I went under the fridge and ate something bad, and then came out to die as well. Like proper, like crawled out one morning and died in the kitchen floor. Like it was like it was like Willem Dafoe in Platoon. It just kind of emerged from under the fridge. Just
What a different to see.
It wasn't gonna die alone. So
That is. I had a hamster, and I think they all do that, don't they? If they get out and get under somewhere, they'll go for a while. I just
Yeah.
get stuck behind a bookcase for about
Yeah.
a week or something like that.
yeah, I think what it was is you just ate something that was like some bit of food that had fallen behind the fridge and been there for years or something. And
Right. So you've killed a fish.
Yeah.
You've killed a hamster.
that makes my mum sound like she keeps a clatty house, but that's not. It's under the fridge. She's not cleaning under the fridge every week like it's.
Wow.
The dog, that wasn't my fault. I was a farmer. Farmer shot the dog. That's
Did you set him off enough?
no. I sold the farmer the gun, but I'm not that. I think I'm enough removed to be in any way responsible for that death.
Any other animals?
Cat died. No, cat died. The cat just died. The first cat died of old age, and then the second cat, which I was never really at home then, had a
Right.
heart attack. Had a heart attack at the top of the stairs, and then rolled down the stairs and it hit my.
Probably saw you waiting for him at the bottom. There's this famous animal killer. God. Did your cat actually have a heart attack though?
Yeah, my dad was absolutely distraught about it.
Aye.
So he was at the bottom of the stairs, and this thing just and it just rolled down and landed at his feet.
All your animals have had really like show busy dramatic deaths. Fish exploding,
Yeah.
cat down the stairs, hamster coming out platoon style. And now you're a performer. I mean, what's going on here? I feel like I've missed a beat there as well about, feeding the fish too much. I should have done another wee don't feed the bears
Oh yes,
plug for the merch. Wow, well that's I feel like I understand you a lot better having heard these stories about the fish. And it's also just nice to hark back to those old fairs, as you say, when they come. You really don't see the old fish in a bag anymore.
I don't even know if it would be. I'm
Allowed?
assuming it wouldn't be allowed now because do you remember animals at the circus?
Yeah,
Yeah, see that's not at all allowed.
don't get any.
Well, not in this country. I reckon the Russians are probably still
Oh, aye.
whipping. You know what they're like? Care not a jot about our animal friends.
Much like yourself.
But no, there's no chance it would be allowed now, a fish in a bag.
A fish in a bag.
Because you've got to go in. The last time I tried to, when I was at uni, I went to buy some fish for our flat.
All right.
And I went, there's a tropical fish place. I ended up buying these, I think they're called like blacks. They're like guppies,
Right.
but they're called black something. I can't remember. You know, they've got big bulbous eyes on both sides. So I bought 2 of them. And I named them after the 2 characters in Pulp Fiction,
Right.
John Travolta and Samuel Jackson's characters, right? And I when I was in there, they had small sharks, right, that were going to grow up, and I ended up I was trying to convince the guy that I was wanting to buy the shark,
Yeah.
and he like took me in for like like he questioned me
I was going to
as
ask
to
if there was-
how responsible it would be to raise this shark, and then it became very quickly that I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I just wanted to buy a shark.
I can't believe there's more control over you buying a pet mini shark than there is like gun control in America.
Yeah.
Do you know about sharks? Wow. So they took it quite seriously.
Oh yeah, there was no way I'd been able to bluff him. Like, not a chance. I started talking about baths and all sorts of it. Be fine, mate.
All right. I feel like we should move away from animal cruelty and maybe move into your next story that you've been able to pick out. Where would you like to go? We have those kind of... We try and keep it broad, but you can either go for a career one first or a relationship.
I'll leave relationship for
Good.
the career, because the career, I've never really had...
A career. No,
Yeah.
no, but it's
I've never really had that many embarrassing moments on stage, because I don't, as an act, I don't really lend myself to...
no, that's true.
I don't really like being out of any kind of control on stage.
But listen, this can be from any job you've ever had.
Oh no, I mean, no, I definitely have one.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's like I'm a lot more awkward off stage than I would ever seem on stage. You know how people have like an on stage persona, and I don't really have an on stage persona. Like, in terms of most of the things that I say on stage, I mean, 90% of them are true, and not really that embellished that much.
Yeah.
But the on-stage performer is just a more confident version
I was going to say,
of what I am off stage.
you really project confidence on stage.
Yeah.
Mostly because, A, you're good and you've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
And so you're so even if things go wrong, it doesn't phase you.
Yeah, I think it's that's where, like, that kind of thing where you go, all right, that's where I feel comfortable.
Aye.
Do you know, like, I mean, it's the same kind of thing. You do it with comedy as well. If you've ever got a heckle in and you've thought of a comeback later on, there's like, I'm not very confident off stage at all, and I'm very kind of awkward, and I'm quite shy actually, and I find it difficult to speak to people. But on stage, that's the kind of... There's a great Jerry Seinfeld thing where he talks about being totally different off stage than he is on stage,
Right.
and he says that he'll come off stage and he'll be at parties, these showbiz parties and Oscar parties and stuff, and largely hang about in the corner, and
Yeah.
people go, "What? Like, this is Jerry Seinfeld. You're one of the greatest entertainers in the world." And he says, the thing is that I can talk to 5,000 of you, but I can't talk to 5 of you. And that's the comfort in having that amount of people,
Yeah.
as opposed to a direct kind of thing.
It
So
makes
that's-
sense, yeah.
yeah.
Like, stand-up's such a solitary thing anyway. So people
Yeah.
think because you're speaking to lots of people, you're really social, but you're really just saying your things.
You're just
to other
You're
people.
just doing your job. That's what a lot
Yeah.
of people don't realise, is that you're doing a job which is very bizarre and very different to what other people do, but you're still performing at your job. I mean,
Yeah.
the majority of people that do normal jobs aren't like they are. They don't take the exact same persona that they have. You're not fucking selling insurance or selling Sky Digital packages and being exactly the same person that you are at
Yeah.
home. So, but the awkwardness off stage is, like, I find myself making an arse of myself quite a lot, and it was because you'll know that because you do a lot of corporate gigs and stuff
Some
now.
available for more.
Yes. Now, you'll be very, very good at corporate gigs, because I've seen you do corporate gigs, and I've seen the thing about corporates is, do you enjoy them?
No,
No.
never.
And it's nobody.
But happy to do them.
Yeah, and but that's not even like a judgment against, because it should, in theory, for everyone that's making the decision to do it, it should work.
Yeah.
Right, for the people putting on the event, they've gone to see a comedian and they go, he just made an entire room of people laugh. I've got an event coming up. That's an entire room of people.
Yeah.
He'll be able to make them laugh. And then for the audience, they're going, well, I've seen this guy before, or I've heard of this guy, and he was really funny when I saw him then. So why wouldn't he be funny in this scenario?
Yeah.
And we're going, well, we do this job most nights and we're good at it. So why can't we be good at that? But for some reason, that setting just doesn't lend
Yeah.
itself to...
Even just at the weekend, though, we were speaking to Raymond Mearns as well. We're talking about comedy is so connected with kind of underground, dirty, kind of saying what shouldn't be said. And so it's almost as if people are coming into a speakeasy when they're in a comedy club.
Yeah.
But corporates all of a sudden are big rooms, bright lights, everyone's been kind of prim and proper. So
Yeah.
then people up and say what shouldn't be said. People are like, oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Like, it is weird when you would. It'd be interesting to see if you took the exact same audience and put them in a different scenario
Yeah.
and did exactly the same material in exactly the same way, whether the difference would
Yeah.
be.
I guess the other big thing is, as we know from both having these experiences, is when people come to a comedy night, that's what they've come to see.
Yeah.
Whereas at a corporate, they're like, we're here for the meal, we're here for the free bar. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Someone getting up and speaking at them for 20 minutes is kind of like, oh.
Yeah, I know, and I see that is definitely one of the things that battles against it. The other thing is the fact that more often than not, it's their night out.
Yeah.
And that's that kind of way where they are given a chance to talk to their colleagues, have a laugh with their colleagues, and they are getting told to shut up for 20 minutes of godsend. My
Oh,
God,
God.
20 minutes. I'd take 20 minutes any day. Jesus. One of those 40-minute bastards that you get asked to do. What?
Oh, no.
But you must enjoy, and this was the one that I was, it was just hosting.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which is-
that's a bit. It's longer an evening, but it means there's no pressure on you to be trying to make these people laugh.
If you don't have to do a set,
Yeah.
and all you're essentially doing is reading an auto cue,
Beautiful.
God, I would
I
take that
actually don't
any
understand
day.
the people that don't like to do that.
Oh,
I think
what?
people are just impressed that you're able to speak sometimes.
Exactly,
Into the mic. So,
yeah.
Could you do it? Could you introduce people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're reading out someone's bio. Yeah. You're reading out a CEO's bio and then bringing them on to talk. And they're boring as fuck as well. Like, they're dying on their arse. So if they come off and you make any joke,
Yeah.
you're suddenly some kind of wizard because
I like
you.
that guy's intro. Did you hear it?
You're like, it's been so mental. But yeah, I was doing one up. I think it was in Aberdeen, and it was one of just the hosting ones.
Right.
But it was a long night, like you're saying. It was you were going to be there for about 3 hours, and there was a lot of introducing people. That each single award had a different person getting introduced, and some hadn't arrived yet, and some are coming, and one guy might not come, so somebody else was going to step up. So there was all this kind of admin getting organised beforehand, and the lady who had booked me for it, we were backstage, and there was going to be a band on after the final award.
Right.
So this band are kind of doing a sound check, and so it's quite loud. And this was I'd spoken to her on the phone. It was the first time I'd met her, and so I'm standing there, and there'd previously been that awkward conversation of, do you want the money now, or do you want the money? And then you get, and I don't really take it because it's not a superstition thing. I just don't think I've not done anything yet. So, but it is, and you probably should take it at the start, because I have done ones where it's gone so badly that they hand over grudgingly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Plus, I just as a quick aside, because I've moaned about this particular one. I've moaned about it on this podcast a couple of times, but the Kilwinning gig that lives in infamy now and rent-free in my head forever, that was the last time I really made a point of going, no thanks, I'll get it at the end. It's a bit of a thing in comedy, don't want to take it in case it goes badly wrong. And then the gig was so bad that I could just see them all thinking, what if we'd paid you before? Like, how much worse could it have been?
Yeah.
If this was it going bad.
I know. No,
so then after that, I realised.
Oh, you see everything going through their face. We're going, yeah. There's a terrible thing when you arrive and they start telling you people they've previously heard that have been shite. And they're really good people, and you're like, oh my God, this is. Oh, they're so much better at this than me. And if they've died, fucking strap in, because you're about to see.
Oh. Anyway,
sorry. So I've already been. She's been texting me on the train up, like, this might be happening. So if you come in, and then I'll run you through everything. So I go and meet her, say hello, and all this kind of stuff. So she's standing there with a clipboard full of stuff to give me, and she's running through. And because the band are playing like that, she leans forward, right, to obviously speak closer to me. For some stupid reason in my head, I thought she was introducing herself, right? So as she leans forward to speak to me, I lean forward and kiss her on the cheek. And the next The next 30 seconds felt about 10 fucking years as we both slowly got back to each other. And she didn't even mention it, she just kept talking about the kind of stuff. But Jesus, like, I fucking, honest to God, I hate that shit. I do that a lot. Do you know, one of the other times I did it, right?
Just picture it.
And this is, right, the first ever time I went to New York,
Right.
no, sorry, second time I went to, I'm just I'm just showing off. I've been to New York twice. The first time I went was 9/11. The second time I went, I went on a week on a tour myself. I thought I'm going to start down at Liberty Island, and I'm gonna walk back up to Times Square because nobody really there walks. So I was like, I'll do every 10th block. I'll stop and go into the nearest bar.
Brilliant.
Right, so I went in I went in a bar in Chinatown. I went in a bar in Little Italy. It was fucking brilliant. These class, just sitting there watching American sports and having a pint and then walking on again. When I was getting back that night, I was on the subway, right, and I got on the subway and I'm walking towards to get in, and there was 3 huge black dudes coming towards me, right, and this is about 11 at night. In quite a dodgy subway station. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, no, fuck. So I'm shitting myself, right? Absolutely shit. I'm like, oh, God, and that it's not because, like, it's because I'm shitting myself, right?
Yeah.
Don't bring race into this.
No.
These fucking dudes are walking straight towards me, and I can see them looking at me, right? And they beckon me over. And the guy comes up to me, and what he was giving me was a subway ticket that he hadn't used, and I could use to go on to the next one. So he's asking me, where are you from? Scotland. And we're having a laugh about the accent, and he's giving me the ticket, right? And then at the end, he goes to fist bump me.
Oh, no.
And I went to shake his hand, and what happened was I just grabbed his fist and shook it. And I was like, this is the whitest thing anyone has ever seen. Like I wouldn't blame them if they now mugged me and kicked the living shit out of me.
I like to think that they're telling the opposite side of this story, all the time.
Yeah,
Remember that white guy?
This white guy, and you know what they're like with their guns.
That is brutal.
And then he started garbling some foreign language.
Oh. And you were having such a cool American New York day
Oh,
as
it was
well.
amazing.
And then to
Just to make an arse of yourself
grab
right
the
at the
fist.
end.
Maybe because you were from somewhere else, maybe they were like, that's what people do in Scotland.
Maybe that's what they do, aye.
Yeah, they
That's well,
got away with it.
Aye. I mean, that's wishful thinking, Chris, but there's
trying
not a
to help.
chance to.
Well, wow. So that Aberdeen lady as well. Did you ever go back? You know, sometimes a corporate place will try and get you to come back, like, because then maybe she's like, "Oh, do you want to come back again?"
I have no concept of that.
Wow. Well, a night for her to remember.
Yes.
And one for you to forget, I suppose. But that's what this podcast is all about. Hearing about your worst moments. Let's go to the relationship one now then.
Yeah.
Often the most intimate ones, vulnerable. You know, I always say I feel guilty sometimes hearing people's stories.
Yeah. I didn't really know what to do with this one because I've got a very quick one about a girlfriend, and then I've got one about my wife.
Oh.
So, because I didn't have a huge amount of. I'm not the shagger I am now, Chris. When I was at school, you'll be amazed to hear. No, I didn't have that many. I was very kind of late developing in terms of girlfriends and stuff. But my first ever.
I'll tell you something though. It'll not surprise you to know that, you know, out of maybe the 15 guests, and we've had maybe 12 of them have been comedians, and including myself in that. Everyone has basically started out this bit by saying the same thing.
It's because we're weird as fuck.
Yeah.
And we're largely losers.
So you're in good company.
Genuine
Everyone
losers.
was just like, yeah, I never really had a lot of relationships.
What's that? You guys now have a job where you require the validation of strangers constantly? What do you mean you weren't confident and good with women? That surprises me so much. You fucking weirdos. My first ever girlfriend was 1997, right?
Oh, no, that's
the first serious one.
Right.
We went to see Titanic together.
Nice.
And I thought like she was but this because by this point at school, right, and I don't know if you had this at your school. 6th year was my best year,
Right.
but 5th year was when all the bell ends left because they were too fucking thick to continue at school, right? So they then went to work in whatever shitey job they could get, and are still doing now, right? And all of us, literally overnight, we went up a social level.
Right. Okay.
Because we weren't like low,
Yeah.
but we were like the bit above low, and then there was there was like the upper class,
Yeah.
which were the popular, good-looking guys, but
Right.
thick as mince, and then there was the decent-looking guys, kind of wealthy and did all right. There was us, just
Right.
normal guys, and then there was, like just scrotes, right? So, but we went up to the second level, almost pushing, because who the fuck was left? We were like,
Oh.
and that's when women and girls started to take notice of us,
Yeah.
because there was nobody left. There was, it was literally like beggars can't be choosers anymore. So we were like, ah. And that's when I first got my first girlfriend, and I bought her. I don't know if you remember these from H. Samuel,
Oh, classic.
attached to Argos.
Yeah.
A necklace that one side of it, 2 necklaces, and when you put them together, it made a whole heart.
Yeah, I remember
So it
that.
was a half and half. Wore that for Valentine's Day, and then she cheated on me, Chris, a week later with one of the good-looking popular boys that I'd left. And at this point, I had no idea. I had no idea of the concept of cheating. I was like, what? How? Like it was almost like a medieval, but you are now betrothed to me. Like what? What the fuck do you mean you've gone off with something? What? How does this work? But yeah, because that's a sadly romantic tale. The one I can tell you from being married is getting it, and the reason I remember this is because me and my wife Amy went to Paris for our honeymoon, and we were there last week. We took the kids for the first time, and I had. First of all, we went. So it was we got married in November, and we went over. And I have got a mentally bizarre discoordination with balance. Right, I can't do ice skating. I can't do skiing.
Aye.
Like physically, cannot do it. I don't know. My balance is so bad that I
Your
just can't.
equilibrium's just away.
Yeah,
the
I
minute
can't
you-
do it. I've had one skiing lesson in my life, right? And the instructor cancelled it after 8 minutes because she thought I was taking the piss. Genuinely. She said, I'm not here to be mocked. And I was like, I'm not fucking... Like, I was that bad, she thought I was doing some kind of fucking act. And so...
Just looking around for a camera.
Yeah, so it's just I can't do it, and the ice skating's even worse. I hate ice skating more than anything in the
Oh,
world.
it's lethal, that.
But you know when people ask you what's the things you hate the most in the world, and some people will go, oh, like racism and world
Right.
hunger. Ice skating for me, I would happily keep racism if ice skating was taken away from the equation, right?
What a first episode for the brand new sponsor of the show.
So we went when we got there. We went ice skating in this because it was quite a romantic thing to do.
Aye,
So
especially
big,
Paris.
big out in a square thing, and my wife's not good at it, but she can at least stand
Go
up
round.
and go round.
Aye.
And I had to hold on to the wee guy, the wee polar bear guy with the sunglasses on.
Right.
I had to hold on to him all the way around. This wee fucking prick looking cool as shit, and I'm fucking. So I was a bad start, but I now. It's not a complete lie. I had led my wife Amy to believe I was more fluent in French
Oh no.
than I was. And that's not because I'm not, it's because I thought I was.
Yeah.
Because I got an A at higher French and I
good.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
But then you realise 10, 15 years has passed since then. A lot of it's gone.
Yeah.
So we went there and she was expecting this to just be me ordering everything, and it was fine. Like ordering in restaurants was fine because you can kind of even with the most basic rudimentary French you can get by.
Yeah.
Because most people know how to order, and then you pick up stuff on the menus anyway. So we went out the first night and that was fine. The second day, my wife realised that she had forgotten her hairbrush.
Okay.
Right? She hadn't packed it in her bag. So she was like, right, we need to go and find a hairbrush. So we went into a pharmacy and she was like, can you go and ask them
She's like, over to you.
For a hairbrush? And I was like, no bother. Now, and I went up and so I was given it, je voudrais on, right? And I could kind of remember, and I thought it was the name for hairbrush, right?
Yeah.
But I could remember hair.
Okay.
Now, hair, I can't remember which way round it is, but hair, I was saying what I thought was hair, right? And they weren't getting it at all. And I wasn't even, I was like, I would like and then I was mimicking the brushing and then saying hair, right? And then they weren't getting it. So I ended up, my wife said it was like the most bizarre thing because she was just looking at someone else and she suddenly felt someone drag her across and I grabbed her and then pulled her hair and started going like this, right? Like grooming her in front of them.
Clawing it with your hands.
So I'm just doing the action now. And what I thought was saying, so chevaux and cheveux are hair and horse.
Oh no.
And so what I was actually saying was, I would like a comb for my horse and then dragging my wife over and pulling her hair down like that and then like that. I would like my horse. Just fucking...
I really don't want to say, well, you do ride her, but I mean, that is awful.
Christopher, you're better than this.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
This isn't going to get the... This isn't going to get the don't feed the bears people back for a second month.
When did the penny drop for them? Was there a kind of
I think they got the gist when I started brushing her hair.
Right.
They knew what I was then talking about, and then they were obviously laughing in their own French way about the fact, look, this fucking moron has mixed up hair and horse. And like no acknowledgement to me would they give, they are actually quite a similar word. Very rude, the French. Lovely, great people. I quite like their rudeness.
Right.
I'm
Because they're not
impressed
messing
by
about.
it.
They're just...
No,
they
they-
wouldn't stand for something.
No, they don't, and they do it so openly as well. Like they're not like behind their back. They'll openly be rude to you right in front of you.
Yeah.
I respect that a lot.
It's kind of, as you say, like your stand-up kind of persona. It's almost French in a way. It's like,
Yeah.
this is what my beliefs are, and I'm
Yeah.
telling you this. That's
Exactly. Yeah. I'm very French on stage. And I smell and I will surrender immediately.
The worst thing I think, if you go abroad, I don't speak any French at all, but I do speak a bit of Spanish, but similarly my wife thinks it's a lot better than it is. But if you go up and you start a conversation in Spanish, and then they just speak back to you immediately in English, because they're like, don't bother, mate.
That's the worst.
And actually what was quite embarrassing, we're just back from Mallorca, and I was kind of starting to get into it a wee bit more, and the place was getting into taxis and restaurants, and I thought, I'm really going to go for it with this next server that comes over in the wee cafe we're in. And I was like, hola, ¿qué tal? And like trying to make really casual Spanish as well to make it sound like I was really cool. And he was like, all right, mate, how you doing? He was an English guy working
Amazing.
there. Couldn't believe it.
Amazing. But what would you prefer, right? See if you went up and nailed a Spanish phrase or nailed a question to someone in Spanish. Would you prefer that they realised you were just trying and answered you in English? Or would you rather they assumed you were Spanish, then spoke perfect Spanish to you back, and you then have to go, I'm done now.
Yeah. That did actually happen as well on that trip, because there was supposed to be a storm coming, and I thought this would be good. There was no chat in the taxi at all, and Eleanor, my wife's like, she's kind of looking at me going, you should say something and all that. And so I asked it, I was like, do you think the storm is going to come? But in Spanish, and I thought that's pretty cool. It sounds pretty cool and all that, you know. And I was
That's
like,
not a
I was
typical
like, "Crees
phrase
que
either
la
at all,
tormenta
aye."
viente," and like her eyes lit up, and she just spoke for like 5 minutes, stream of consciousness about this storm, and I quite enjoyed trying to pick out a word, but I just kept going, see, see, and it was awful, but it's the only way you could learn, I suppose, if you did that all the time. But I was so pleased when I pulled it off.
Yeah,
but then I'm
God,
oh no. This is the storm.
That's a really cool phrase to come out with.
La Tormenta's a great name for.
Oh my God, is that La Tormenta?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking class. So much better than Storm.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming on.
No,
have you got anything
pleasure,
else
man.
coming on? Bearing in mind that it is now, as this comes out, October. Are you in the middle of your tour?
What date in October is this?
This is
Are
roughly
we currently sitting in?
mid-October
We're currently mid-October.
Yeah, kind of
So
second week of October.
I've probably done my first tour show.
Right.
And depending when this comes out, I might have one tonight or tomorrow in Carlisle.
Nice.
But then in a couple of weeks, I've got 2 shows at the Theatre Royal
Oh, nice.
in Dumfries.
Hometown gig.
So yeah, and then all the way through November as well. But they're all going to be England and Ireland and stuff, all in November.
Well, listen, check it out. If you do, look up Mark. He's absolutely incredible. And thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Big shout out, as always, to the Stand Comedy Club, to Sean Stables, Chris Thorburn, and a big shout out to our brand new sponsor for the month, Don't Feed the Bears.
Stop watering dead flowers.